Hi, my name is Jim Breen from Five Great Scenes. Um, this is a new channel, and there's not a lot that an audience would know about me. So I thought I would post a shorter video um, talking about my top 10 movies in my collection that I rewatch them. I feel the most. Um, both as an audience member and as an artist, a writer, director myself, to kind of go back to the well to see how it's done. I don't like to use the term favorite so much because favorites can change depending on the day and who you're talking to and your mood. But these are the ones that I'm constantly pulling out of my to rewatch. So with that said, number 10 is David Fincher's Seven, a mid '90s serial killer movie. Um, this is a movie that I think, as a detective story, is great, and the ending is wonderful. It's uncompromising. I'm surprised it got through the studio system. It was only because of Brad Pitt and David Fincher's clout that it was able to get through. But what I love about it is that you can understand what the killer's trying to say. He has a message, and it uses this fictional city. Very similar to New York, to show how ugly the human beings can be to each other, and to underline that ugliness and talk about the seven deadly sins in an interesting way. And so I just feel like it's one of those movies where you feel like you can understand the killer and why he's doing what he's doing. So that's number 10. Number 9 is a movie from 1973 called Electra Glide in Blue. Electra Glide in Blue. I want to make sure I said that right. Directed by James William Guercio. This is a great, also a murder mystery. It's a counterculture kind of focus on kind of hippie culture to a certain extent, but it really focuses on Johnny Wintergreen, who is this motorcycle cop who wants to be more. He hates being a motorcycle cop. He wants to be a detective. And he was given this opportunity. He is challenged like he would never have thought he would be challenged in this thing that he thinks is a murder that most people don't believe. It's such a great movie, very well shot by Connie Hall. Robert Blake is unforgettable in it. I like him more in this than I do in Cold Blood, and that's saying a lot. Just an incredibly well done movie with also an unforgettable ending. Highly recommend. Um, number number 8 would be Die Hard. John McTiernan's 1980 masterpiece. This movie, for me, it's what I love about it. The single location is wonderful. Largely the single location. The building is a character, but I think the character of John McClane and while he is a hero, he is not superhuman. And while also having a villain that I think, of course, was personified very well, cast perfectly with Alan Rickman. But I think, it's just understanding your character and really trying to add as much humanity and humor into a story. And that was very important to McTiernan, that it was not going to be a slog, that it was going to be humor. And he adds that throughout the movie. And so it's just a great way of writing that type of genre movie. So I absolutely love that. It's perfect. Number 7 is Cool Hand Luke. Stuart Rosenberg's just this movie. I was taught under Frank Pearson, who wrote the screenplay, and was able to talk to him many times, not about this movie, but I a huge respect for him. He had also written Dog Day Afternoon. But this movie is such a great. It's more than a prison movie. It shows how a single character fighting against the system um, um, is able to push back in such an interesting and unique way. And Paul Newman is is just so incredible in the movie. But it's also the supporting characters. George Kennedy's character in there as well, and how you can see them both inspired and crushed in their belief in this character. So I absolutely love Love the movie. Oh, Cool Hand Luke. Um, the next on my list would be Michael Clayton, Tony Gilroy's. I think it came out in 2007. This movie just knocked my socks off because what I love about it is it teaches you that you can do a legal thriller without ever entering a courtroom, and focus on a character who is trying to find some sense of morality when he's surrounded by greed. The nonlinear storytelling is masterful. But there's not a flawed moment in this movie, and it's one of the my favorite George Clooney movie. But also Tilda Swinton. Oh my God, Tilda Swinton in the movie is just astonishing. She's so wonderful in creating a kind of a cog in a larger machine in this corporation that is not up to the task of what she's asked to do. Highly recommend the movie if you haven't seen it. Next on my list is Sidney Pollack's They Shoot Horses, Don't They? This is a movie that most people have not seen, I would think, about dance marathons during the Depression. Like Die Hard, it takes place in one location, but this is about dance marathons in the Depression, where these people were volunteered actually to dance for over months until one of them was left to gain a little bit of money. And it really, really focuses on sensationalism and what people are willing to do for entertainment. It's very similar to reality television in many ways. But its uses of flash forwards as well is just groundbreaking. There isn't a single false note in this movie, and it's one of my favorite Jane Fonda movies. She's just great, and Gig Young, of course, as the MC is unbelievably wonderful. Highly recommend the movie. Um, After that would be The Matrix, the Wachowski brothers. This movie, I called everyone I knew after I saw this at the theater on the first day. It teaches you world building around a central character. I mean, it's now this idea of the one, the person with a special power. That's not new, but the way they wrapped it and used all these various influences and combine that with both incredibly well designed special effects, and live action fight sequences. It's the only one I own. I don't own the others. It's just a perfect movie for me. I absolutely love it. Number 3 on my list is Days of Heaven. Terrence Malick's. I think it's from 1978. I just actually rewatched it again yesterday. This is a movie that is more than what it was on paper. I mean, it's about the execution, and it's this bucolic natural setting with a simple love triangle at the center, and what you can do with a movie with I wouldn't say so little because it's a movie with a budget, but using a kind of a early teens setting, 1910s, and having this love triangle, this unique love triangle, and so well cast and voiced. The narrator in that, Linda Mance, who has this wonderful, I guess, New York accent. She sounds like she's from New York, even though she says she's from Chicago. It's so masterful, and it's succinct. With some of these movies, they can go for 3 hours. Something like Heaven's Gate, which sells this beautiful, periods and so on. This is succinct and to the point, but it uses natural imagery and creates tension in such an incredible way. I love the movie. Number 2 would be Michael Mann's Heat. This is a movie, one of my most favorite movie-going experiences. It's so wonderful because it's a crime movie that is a tapestry. And because it's a tapestry and there's so many characters, it's not as predictable. And it allows there's a certain sloppiness, and it allows it's longer. And it really gets to explore these characters played by De Niro and Pacino, and show their similarities and make them complex in such a great ways. I mean, the heist scene's wonderful, man. I mean, the heist scene is it's phenomenal. but there's so much that goes into that on either side, before and after, that I think it creates tension in such great ways. And the final one on my list is Once Upon a Time in the West is number one on the list. That's the first one. I think, just in looking at the amount of times that I've watched it, this is a movie that combines mystery with Western in such an interesting way, that chooses 45 minutes to introduce its characters. If you want to look at character introductions in a movie with little to no dialogue, this is the movie to watch. It is just pure cinema, and every single I mean, Henry Fonda, to me, in this movie is the best movie villain. He's just, it's unbelievable what he does in that movie. But Charles Bronson is the man with harmonica. He adds so much charisma. Absolutely love it. So that's my short and dirty uh, uh, top 10 most rewatchables movies. If you have some that you like on the list, or if you want to talk about your most rewatched movies, please let me know in the comments below. If you like, please click like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And I thank you for your time. Thank you so much for watching.